Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, taking a fun, exciting video for you guys today because we have some more updated news about the Neo Geo AES Plus coming out this fall from Plaion. And honestly, now that the dust has settled a little bit when it comes to the actual announcement that the Neo Geo AES is coming back in 2026, the information has been a bit quiet out there. But when this project first announced, absolutely everyone, myself included, was stoked to know that the Neo Geo in the year that we're currently in is going to be a console that you can go and actually purchase again. That was definitely not on my 2026 or any other year bingo card, but I am 100% excited to see it happen now. And Hotego, one of the names you're going to be familiar with from the FPGA development space, Capcom CPS, CPS2, and now CPS3, plus a lot of other stuff, has been assisting in the actual development and engineering of the AES Plus. And we know that it's going to be based on ASICs or application-specific integrated circuits based upon MiSTer FPGA code base, FPGA code in and of itself. But Hotego did an interview with Creativo in Japan, and I will leave a link to their video down below and credit them throughout the video, talking about some of the new details and some of the things that haven't been talked about yet. So if you're hyped for Plaion's new Neo Geo AES Plus coming out in the fall, but you still have a few questions, hopefully this video will answer at least a few of them for you. And honestly, I am as excited as I've ever been to buy a console when it comes to the AES Plus, even if I have an AES and a lot of the games that are going to be in the initial batch. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. But like I said, the video link to Creativo in Japan's video with Hotego is down below. I'm only using a few snippets to get the point across, and again, I sent this to somebody I know who is a native Spanish speaker. That way I could try to better understand, because trust me, YouTube's actual transcription service can be a little bit brain dead. But the first thing that they're talking about is the fact that, again, yes, this is going to be an ASIC design, which means whatever's on the chip cannot be updated in the future. That means Plaion and everyone else involved needs to get it right the first time. Now, Plaion did state earlier on that they have a budget to spin up a test run and then fix it before these things go out into the market, but yes, something like an ASIC is a static design. You are not going to be able to change anything about it once it's actually manufactured, unlike an FPGA chip where you could just send new code to it every single time you boot it up. You could have 10 updates in a day and it would just take those updates and run as the new core. So this is definitely something that's going to be important, but as Hotego stated, basically somebody or somebody's at Plaion are testing every single game on designs to make sure that they are working. So it seems like they're definitely doing their due diligence when it comes to actually making sure this thing is ready to ship in the fall, because again, an ASIC is a set it and forget it situation, which is to say, once it's actually made, you better forget about updating it. You better hope you got your actual design right the first time, because you're not getting a second chance at it. And it's one of those things, these games should be tested, and the Neo Geo AES library is quite large, but my guess would be that they're testing it on something like a multi-card, because I can't imagine anyone out there is going to be able to test every single Neo Geo AES game ever made, because in some instances, there's only like 5 or 6 copies that are known to exist, and those things can cost $50,000 plus. So my guess would be that they're not testing every single game as its original release, but on a multi, and there is mention of multi-cards, more than likely, wink wink, working when the AES Plus hits again. But honestly, knowing that they're testing all of this and being very careful with the ASIC design to make sure it is ready to go really does make me feel like we're going to be getting a really good product in the fall. And obviously this isn't Plaion's first rodeo when it comes to making actual hardware, and I talked to a couple of people that own some of the other hardware in other communities that I know nothing about, and basically what I was able to glean from people I would trust is the hardware is solid, it did everything it's supposed to do, and people were impressed by it. So again, when Hotego's talking about the fact that this is all being tested before those ASICs are manufactured, it's one of those things. It is a very good sign. Obviously, Hotego, excellent engineer and FPGA code dev, one of the best. So when he says something is being given the attention it deserves, I take him at his word, because he and his team are absolutely just always giving the FPGA community so much fun stuff to play. And it's going to be really fun to be able to play Neo Geo games again in the fall. Leave me a comment down below and tell me, did you pre-order? What games did you get? Because I'm always curious about that. Moving into the next section, they're talking about whether or not there's going to be an overlying operating system or menu over top the actual AES Plus, and Hotego says, to at least to the best of his memory, that that is not going to be something you're going to be seeing, which does to me honestly make sense, because this is just a new Neo Geo AES trying to be exactly the same as the old Neo Geo AES. So when you put a cartridge in and you turn it on, the games are going to boot and you're going to be into it. And it's one of those things, would it be fun in some sort of universe for this thing to have some sort of online capability to get matches online? Of course it would, but that's not what the project's about. But I see that a lot in comments recently, people asking, do you think it's going to have online netplay support? It is going to be running the games that ran on the Neo Geo AES back in the day, because it is compatible with original cartridges. So it's not like Plaion or the developers are going in and adding anything in particular to any game outside of Neo Turf Masters having the Scotland course. So that's definitely something that just doesn't seem to be in the cards, and honestly, not really surprised by that whatsoever. They also talk about the BIOS and what could potentially be done there, because the big question is whether or not you can change the BIOS, i.e. whether or not you can use a UniBIOS in the first place. And if you're not familiar with the Neo Geo, Rizula made the UniBIOS a long time ago and continually updates it, and it's one of those things that is the preferred way to interact with the Neo Geo AES or MVS in my opinion. It allows you to have cheats, it allows you to remove censorship in certain regions of games, and definitely is essential. And Hotego talks about the fact that it should be totally fine to change the BIOS on the device. Now, does that mean you're going to have to actually open it up, take a chip out of a socket, and replace it with a new chip? Absolutely, nobody has any idea right now. We're just going to have to wait and get more information, or wait until it ships and actually open it up. But it's one of those things, people are always curious about it, so I'll try to get more information soon. Additionally, they talk about different quote-unquote 161-in-1 cartridges or other flash cartridges working, and Hotego states that so long as it accepts the same overall voltage that would be needed to run, as well as the amperage, then it should be fine, because those cartridges are designed to run on an AES, and it needs to be voltage compatible so it can actually use the old games without any sort of risk or issue. Then the answer to that would be, of course, Plaion has not confirmed it whatsoever, but it's pin compatible, it is an ASIC, and it obviously runs the old game, so why would it not run something that an AES runs today? So if you have a multi-cart and it runs on your AES, should be fine on the Plaion Neo Geo AES Plus. If you have a flash cart and obviously those work on your AES, you should be totally fine as well. But just remember, we're going to have to wait and 100% confirm that when it actually ships. And here's one more time Hotego talking about the fact that the BIOS should be able to be changed out. And that again is a nice thing, and it seems like Plaion is doing everything right here when it comes to actually making this console, getting the right people involved, asking the right FPGA engineers who have the knowledge to assist and aid in its development, and making sure all the things you would want it to do are going to be able to be done day one. And that really is awesome, because again, with an ASIC, day one is going to be the same thing as day 1000. There aren't going to be any updates. Also stated that it should have stereo sound coming out of the back as well. That is definitely something very important. It's also going to lead into the video's only soundtrack sample, so you can get an idea of what Neo Geo sounds like in stereo. And I'll be right back with just a bit more information about the new console.
Ready, boys? Power stop! Metal up! Metal up! Power stop! And mission! Ready, boys? Power stop! Metal up! And metal up! Ammunition.
You're just going to want to have that stereo sound. It seems like you're going to be getting it. And the last question that was talked about is what the controller will be like and whether or not it's going to replicate a Neo Geo AES arcade stick. And the answer to that question is you're never going to know unless you have a new old stock stick that somehow didn't still degrade in the box. And honestly, for me, I have Neo Geo AES sticks, but the actual TR Octopus Flight Stick is my preferred way to play Neo Geo AES games. So when it comes to the overall feel, yes, I'll be able to tell when it releases how close it is, but the reality is Neo Geo AES sticks from the original manufacturing run are incredibly old now, and they do have wear and tear, so you're never going to be able to say exactly how one is quote-unquote supposed to feel, because even like I said, if you had one new old stock in box, things just degrade over time by sitting around doing nothing. So it's one of those things we'll never be able to 100% confidently say how it feels compared to the original stuff, but we'll just know whether or not it is an effective replacement. And honestly, the AES Plus, with everything going on, the compatibility with original cartridges, flash cartridges, multi-carts, things like that, even MVS converters, all the right people working on the project with Plaion, all of the new games being released or re-released. In fact, this thing definitely is shaping up to be something that is absolutely incredible, at least in its potential, and I can't wait for this fall to tear the thing down, review it, and do everything else. And as far as whether or not I'm going to get a review unit, I have absolutely no idea. We'll just have to wait and see if it's something that Plaion's going to send out and let people known for talking about Neo Geo and the FPGA side of things discussed before the actual release date. But this is a lot of fun information. There's a lot of other context in the video, so the link to Creativa in Japan is down below so you can watch it. And again, if you're using the auto translation feature, just be aware it's not very good. But short of that, we're done. I'm hyped as hell, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.